Hello, everybody. Reporting to you live from my apartment building rooftop. Today, I'm going to be doing a bit of a Q&A about my life abroad, living abroad, everything that has to do with life abroad. A couple weeks ago, I asked on my Instagram for you guys to ask me some questions, and we have some juicy ones. So let's get right into it. The first question is, any tips on how to not get homesick? I'm living in Germany, and it's so hard right now. This is such an important one because everyone experiences it. Even if you're having an amazing time and loving where you're living, you're still going to have those little pieces of being homesick, and I've definitely gone through it. My number one tip, and something I do in every country I go for more than like a month, is to make where I live so cozy, so nice. I spend literally so much money trying to make my space feel like home. I even put up, even though it looks bad and I'm not a good interior designer, I put up pictures, I put up notes that my family has written me. I bring books from home, even though it's heavy. Like, I just try to make my space someplace I want to come back to at the end of the day, and that has helped me so much. Another tip is definitely a boring one, but you need to get into a routine. And it's not fun, but I think the worst thing I could have done when I moved here to Brazil is made it feel like a vacation all the time, because eventually the vacation stops and then it becomes your real life and you don't know how to handle it. So try from day one to just start little routines. Find your favorite grocery store that you go on Thursdays. Find your favorite coffee shop that you go every morning. Those little routines make a huge difference. Okay, the second question is, how is dating in another country? And they put a lot of ha 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 ha's. This one's a funny one because if you follow me, you know the reason I moved abroad was because of my husband. Well, we were engaged at the time. So I can't speak on this very much because I guess it worked for me really fast. But from what I've seen and hearing from friends, dating abroad can be really exciting, but it also can be pretty confusing. There's a lot of expectations in dating, and those are very different every country you go. For example, here in Brazil, moving fast is very normal. So things that aren't, the wind is picking up, things that aren't very normal for us in America, like moving very fast physically and being serious all of a sudden, is very normal here. And so you just have to keep those things in your mind and be smart, but just be aware. So I'm not sure too much about dating abroad, but that's all I can give you. Okay, for question number 3, this one talks all about fears. They said, what thing about Brazil were you most what thing about Brazil were you most skeptical about before moving? Any fears? The short answer, yes, I definitely had and have still lots of fears, but it was big for me because I had never been to a South American country or been around that culture very much. So it was definitely a big change, and I had lots of fears about how I would fit into the culture, if I would enjoy my life here. And I think part of that is normal when you're moving abroad because, of course, it's a new experience. But there's also the big fact that I didn't speak Portuguese. So that was a big one. I had fears about not fitting in, not making friends, how I would be perceived. And so those things are all normal, and fears are totally okay. And occasionally, one day you wake up and you realize, oh, that fear is gone. So it's just part of the process. Question number 4 is, what do you miss the most about home? And this is a question so many people ask me in my real life and online, and I always have a different answer. I think some people expect it to have some big emotional answer, but for me, it really comes down to independence and maybe convenience. So I kind of just miss being able to hop in my car and go wherever I want in like 15 to 20 minutes, never waiting in traffic, knowing all the stores I like or where I can get things. Those little things that you don't realize is part of your independence, but when you lose those things, you feel that. So definitely independence is a big one. And convenience. I didn't realize, but a lot of American life is set up to be convenient or to get people where they want to go the quickest or what they want to get done the quickest. And I didn't realize I even missed that. But once I moved abroad to a country that doesn't really prioritize those things, I do tend to miss those things. For example, here, if you want to make a left turn, you have to go like a mile down the road to make a U-turn. There's not like a turn off. That's just a little example. But I just miss those little things that I'm like, life would be so much easier. So, those are the two things I missed today. Also, if my hair is crazy in this video, I'm in nature, okay? Let it be. The next question is about how I'm treated as a foreigner. They said, how do they treat foreigners where you live? Or have you had any bad experiences because you're not from there? So overall, I feel like I've been treated pretty well. I haven't had any negative experiences with strangers coming up to me, but online is a different story. I think Brazilians have a lot of preconceived ideas about Americans, what they're like. They're loud and they're conservative, and the list goes on. So I do notice like those little stereotypes coming up in conversation, but I think that's normal for wherever you live. Everyone has preconceived ideas from people from every country, so it's not crazy, but definitely online, I do get a little. Ooh, the wind is going crazy. Online, like I said, it is a different story. I do get a lot of comments, but your real life matters more anyways, and I haven't had any negative experiences. I do think people stare because I just probably look different, or I don't know why, because I'm a foreigner. And I think it comes from more of like a curiosity, because as soon as you start talking to them, they're like super interested to know about where you're from and stuff. So that's about it. I hope you can hear because the wind just started picking up, but I'll keep going. So, the last question is, I've been thinking of moving abroad for a long time, but I feel scared. Any advice for me? Girl, do I have advice for you? First of all, fear is totally normal. I had fears in the beginning. I also had the excitement of like, what if things don't work? What if things are horrible, etc., etc. It's all just part of the journey. But my advice to you is don't wait until you're not scared to do it. Because, in my opinion, I think that point won't ever come when you're completely not scared to do something new. So, everyone feels a little scared doing something new, but just think about everything that will come from this experience and everything you'll learn. And the thing about moving abroad is you don't have to do it forever. You can go for just a year, 6 months, and decide it's not for you. And so keep your options open and just be open to receiving and changing and evolving, knowing that if it doesn't go the way you want it to, you can always make that decision to move to a different country. So no pressure on yourself, but I would also say don't wait. Just do it scared and see what happens. Okay, so those are all the questions I'll get to today. There's tons of more about Brazil specifically. So if you want me to make another video answering all the questions just about where I'm living now, Brazil, and how's my experience here, I would love to make that for you. But hopefully you got some advice, or you could relate, or you just had fun watching the video. So thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and follow me on TikTok and Instagram for more content and behind the scenes. And yeah. Ciao!